noticed myself, but I'm up. It is 12:58 a.m. and I decided I'm going to shoot a video. So I want to keep this one kind of hopefully shorter and sweeter, but this is going to be how I mic an acoustic guitar. I recently did how I mic, or how I record rhythm guitar, so I figured this would be a next good step to go to. Miking up acoustic is completely different than miking up an electric guitar, specifically with where you're supposed to point the microphones on it, etc., etc. So what I have here for my setup today is actually going to be the Shure SM57, and I'm swapping out, I usually use an Audix i5, I'm swapping it out for the Behringer XM8500 because I want to test it out in this setting. And what I'm doing with the microphones is I actually have the Shure pointed where I'm going to have the sound hole for the acoustic. So you're going to get a lot of the brighter notes up there, and the Shure, in my testing of it, has a little bit of a darker quality to it, so I'm hoping that will soften some of those brighter notes, make them a little bit warmer. And I'm using the Behringer, which again in my testing has had a little bit of a higher, like mid to upper mid range, maybe some of the high end kilohertz as opposed to the SM57 for the lower portion of the guitar where you get all the bassy notes. I want to see if that helps to soften it out. So this is going to be a little bit of a test, but not an official one, if that makes sense. A little bit more about my current setup and what I have going on here is both of the microphones are dynamic microphones. They're being run into a cloud lifter, and the cloud lifter brings up the inner dB of them. It brings it up to a more reasonable recording level. It bumps up the volume, so you're not having to crank it up on like my Scarlett 2i2. I tried recording with just these straight in at one point, and it was ridiculous. I had to crank it up so far. You got all this hiss. It sounds terrible. So this brings it up to a much more reasonable level for recording. You have to provide phantom power if you're using the cloud lifter through whatever source you're running it into. I actually have it running into my Behringer mixer, and out of the Behringer mixer into the Scarlett 2i2 to get the signal into the computer, which I will be recording into GarageBand. So it might seem a little counterintuitive on the phantom power point to use phantom power on a dynamic microphone, but with the cloud lifter it requires it no matter what kind of microphone source you're using. So that's pretty much it for the setup, and I will go ahead and break out the guitar and we'll take a look and see what happens here. Okay guys, side note, I have my guitar tuned to D standard, just in case anyone was wondering. It is a Spectrum guitar, a cheaper guitar, but I've used it several times to record songs and it sounds nice, so maybe I'll get something new eventually, but for now this is all I need. Okay, so the way I've got this set up, I know it might be a little hard to tell the angle from, where the angle of the camera, but I have the Behringer pointed kind of toward the bottom of the sound hole, right at the base, like right above the bridge pretty much. Actually, let's tilt it down just a little bit more. And then I've basically got the Shure pointed at the sound hole. Hold on, I'm going to pop it up a little bit more. Just try to get these a little bit closer to cut down on the sound now that I know, or the background noise, cut down on the background noise now that I know where I'm going to be sitting. So I don't want to choke myself too much on this, but I do want to get these close, and I still want to be able to play kind of comfortably. So where the Shure is sitting is basically about the 12th fret, or 12th fret, pointed toward the sound hole. So it's going to pick up all that noise with its directional qualities. I need to turn off my fan. Always try to kill whatever background noise you can. And I'm going to give myself a metronome to follow. Set up a new project in GarageBand. We'll just do this at 120 BPM. So I need to raise the volume on my mixer. I'm going to zero it out. and pop on phantom power. So now we've got phantom power. Not seeing anything coming through just yet though, so let's bump up the volume on my Scarlett. So you got to kind of bump up the whatever source you have a little bit. You want to get the levels up to where they're kind of going up into the yellow is where I like it. You never want to get to the red. That's distortion. You're killing your sound if you do that. And your ears. That looks like a pretty good level. It's peaking a little bit. I like to play really loud, just to make sure that, you know, I'll play louder than what I'm going to get. That way I know I'm within a comfortable range in case I do get loud by accident. Okay, that's pretty good, it looks like. So, we'll go ahead and set up a new track on input 1. Input 1, I believe, is the shore. Yep. Sure enough. I believe input 1 is the shore. I'll double check on that. For now, I'm going to set up multiple recordings. So I need another track. This track, we're going to go for input 2. And what we're going to do here is configure track header and hit record enable. Now I can enable both of these tracks to be recorded. I'll just do a test real quick and make sure that they're both picking up. Looks like they are. Okay, definitely got audio here. So that's good. I'm going to give myself a little bit more metronome. And I'm going to, just for the sake of it, I'll go play some of the chords from my new song, Walk of These Ruins, which I just released yesterday. You can go ahead and head on over and check that out. I'll put the link below. So, let's give it a go. I could keep going. I already recorded the song once. I don't want to do that. So, I'm going to take my headphones out here and put the guitar down, and then I'll take a look at the mix and see what we've got going on. Alright guys, so there you go. Here is the track. So we've got both of these. I did end up verifying. I'm going to actually change these to correspond to the proper microphone. So this is the SM57. I had that again pointed at the sound hole on the acoustic. And this is the XM8500. and this was pointed toward the bass, toward the bridge of the acoustic. So let's see what sounds like what. I'm going to listen to it with the metronome and verify that it's actually on time. Okay, so that was the XM8500. You can hear there's some brightness here, but again, this is recorded with the Shure SM57. So it sounds like it sounds already like it's dimming down some of that brightness. It's pulling some of it back. I might skip ahead to the chorus part, and we'll hear the chords there. There's a lot more brightness with some of the chords there, and I'll see how it picked up. I'm just kind of curious. Okay, so when I mix the two, there's a notable difference there. You get that nice range, good range there. It's got the full spectrum of sound. It's just a lot fuller. And I'm going to remind you, these are both zeroed out. They're both at 0. So it's not like one is louder than the other. When you're doubling up the signal, you're also increasing the volume, which explains why you're getting a lot more of that clarity. But you're also picking up different notes from each microphone, and it shows here. So what I like to do a little bit here is pan these off slightly. Let's try it at about -10 each. I'll kill the metronome. Don't need that anymore. We'll bring it over a little bit more. Now you can hear it's got a lot more stereo to it. It's a lot wider. I brought it out to about -20 each. There's a lot of heavy mids in this section. Kind of unpleasant. I would go clean that up in post mixing. I'm not going to mix this whole thing down, obviously. It's not even the whole song. But, you know, I would go in. I can give some examples. Probably go in, do a little bit of, you know, you could fix it with some EQ. There's a variety of things you can do if just, you know, if it isn't just the volume to kind of back off some of that muddiness. You can play with a variety of things. If it really becomes an issue, I would just suggest re-recording it. But for the sake of what we're doing here today, we don't need to do that. Sounds like it would probably be more of an EQ thing, so I might want to back off some of those mids a little bit. But again, moving on, overall, let's see. You can hear that brightness with the XM8500. Again, this is pointed at the bridge of the acoustic, so it's picking up all of those low notes. And it shows you're getting a lot more bass in those hits, but it is still maintaining those high notes, those crisper, higher up elements, a lot nicer just like I was hoping it would, actually. It seems like it's doing it, so. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. The Shure has a little bit more. The Shure is definitely brighter, but like I said before, with the darker quality, it kind of softens it out. It's got this warmer quality. If I throw a microphone on the pointing at the sound hole that is just picking up all of that high end stuff, it might become a little bit over encumbered. You got to be careful with doing that. I've found, because it seems like if a microphone's frequency response is in a certain range, you would want to use it specifically to mic that range, but I've found that it can be a little bit cumbersome. Like with this is still picking up a little bit more of the mids on some of those hits than I would like it to. I was hoping that this would back off a little bit, but it's a good microphone, and that is its frequency response. And I mean, a guitar sits around that, what is it, like 200 to 500 range, maybe a little lower even. It goes beyond that as well too, but as far as like the lower end of the guitar and the mids, it hits pretty much in that center frequency response. So it's pretty good overall. I like the way that it's picking up everything else too. It's actually really nice. It's got a really dreamy quality to it. I really enjoy using these microphones. These are very nice. And again, this is the first time I've ever used the Behringer XM8500 to mic a guitar. Period. Actually, I haven't really used it too much. I've done some testing with it, and I've tried it out on some vocals. But it sounds really nice for this, and these complement each other very well. If I had the setup to do it right, I would probably try doing maybe even a center microphone, get it that nice wide stereo. That would be pretty nice. I don't need it here, and I don't have a way of doing it, unfortunately. I do have another mixer with another input, but I don't have another interface, and I don't have the right cords to run the mixer into my computer, or I would definitely try that. It's something I've wanted to do. I would probably use my Rode NT1A for that, something with a little bit more oomph to it, and to hold that signal right in the center. Triple miking is a little unusual, but it is done occasionally, and what little experimentation I've done with it in the past sounds pretty nice. So maybe future video, we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty basic, guys. Just wanted to go over what the setup looks like, what I do with it, and that's pretty much the whole gist of it. So, if you guys have any questions or comments, please, feel free to reach out, leave some comments below, do whatever you have to do, and I would be happy to try to get back to you guys, or, if you think I left something out, please let me know, and I'll try to be a little bit more attentive to that in the future. Either way, thank you very much for joining me on this, and I hope that my late night endeavors or early morning endeavors are worth it for some of you, and maybe somebody gets something worthwhile out of this. Other than that, thanks for stopping by, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're listening to this on, and I will hopefully see you guys on the next one.
I walk alone in this forest with no one there to guide me by the hand. And in this moment I can't find a place to keep rooted on the ground. 'Cause I can't find myself without you here.